Hi, welcome to this week's episode of Gardener's Plot. So what we're going to do today is just do sort of a little bit of a tour of the garden, sort of the different areas, and then also what I've got planned sort of for said areas for the new year to come. Squeak's joined me today, aren't you, Squeak? Right, let's crack on. Right, we'll start with the top of the garden, which is the wildlife area. So during the summer, I built this Burg wildlife hotel. So there is a playlist on all the different components of this. So I'll add a link to the playlist in the description. So do check it out. It covers quite a lot of different habitats and things like that. So let's say hello to the animals. First set of animals. So this is Falcor. He's our resident male rabbit. He has had his little furry plums off now, so no more babies. And then he does have a new lady friend in the background, which is Hazel. She's still quite nervous. So at the moment the weather's not been too bad, so I put them back out in the aviary. But if it does turn again, they'll go back into the chicken coop where it's nice and dry. Let's introduce you to Saskia. Sass. She's our little hand-raised tame squirrel. Let me focus in on her. Oh, and just as I focus, she runs away. She's going to be burying her nuts soon. So that's Saskia. She's a little bit portly. But it is winter, so she does put weight on over winter. So the plan is to, with this, is to, I'm going to add a lot more ferns and things and sort of turn this into almost like a woodland type enclosure, if you like. So the rabbits won't always be in here, so hopefully I can get some ferns in and hopefully they'll establish enough so the rabbits don't demolish them. So that's Saskia's aviary. So the main focus of the wildlife area is the wildlife pond. So there are frogs, newts, not sure about toads. I did release 1 or 2 baby toads at the beginning of the year, last year, so we might have a few. But there are sticklebacks, a host of insects and things within the pond. A lot of the local wild birds use it, sort of sparrows, blackbirds, robins and things like that. So there you go. Got a nice reed bed at the back there, so during the summer that does sort of grow up, and so does that plant there, so creates lots of different habitats. It's like log piles and things like that, little bee hotels for everyone. The back here is the Fern Garden. So I do plan on expanding this a little bit, so as it's still quite mild, I can dig up a few ferns from my auntie's garden and relocate them here. She's got quite a big fern garden, so I help her by weeding it out and taking a few. We have got the beginnings of some primroses coming up. This is my nice little seating area. Very rustic. So there you go. Then further along, so the plan is here to have a bog garden, which I will try and dig out at some point. So as I said, the pretty much top part of that garden is dedicated to wildlife, to encourage as much into the garden as possible. By encouraging the wildlife, they help control your pests and things like that. So I don't use any harmful chemicals in the garden. I don't use any slug repellents or stuff like that. It's to try and create an ecosystem that sort of looks after itself. So over here is the raspberry patch. I have got a red currant and a black currant here, which I do want to dig out, and the gooseberry as well, which I want to move behind me to the berry forest. Another job I have to do as well is I'm going to try and split this rhubarb and put the rhubarb all the way along here, so I can get a good few crops out of that. I made some rhubarb gin during the summer and that came out very nice. There is a little video, so do check it out. This is my potato bed. There are currently potatoes in there. A fox tried digging to the rabbits, so that's why that's now protected. But I do need to dig up the potatoes. I'm not brave enough yet, because I don't know how successful they have been. So perhaps next week I'll dig them up and actually see what I've got. But this is one of my main planting beds, and then we have just a grapevine at the top there. So that really came on late summer, so hopefully that'll carry on growing next year. I might even get a grape harvest next year, fingers crossed. So over here is going to be my berry forest. So I will be moving the black currant and red currant and gooseberry over here. So I've already got a black currant, there's a blueberry, there's a raspberry, and there are some strawberries. And then dotted along this is a lot of bulbs, so snowdrops, bluebells, tulips and things like that, just to have that little bit of flash of colour through. Up here is just my sort of ornamental rock garden. Sort of just creates a barrier between the wildlife pond and here. Just breaks it up a little bit. So this is where I'm going to have a few ornamental flowers and grasses. Try and build this area up, just help give lots of cover to any wildlife that are slinking around. So that we have got slow worms in the garden as well, so they'll use all these rocks and things to bask on and to hide under and things like that. This is where I'm going to grow the three sisters next year. So that would be squash, sweet corn, either beans or peas. Or it might even be four sisters. I might do a combination of all four. The corn done alright here last year, but they were in a tub, so the plan is to actually plant them directly into the soil next year. And then again, I've put a few little bulbs just to forefront, add like that little bit of flash of colour. So once I get some seedlings on the go, they will be going in here. So there you go. Wildlife garden and berry forest. Greenhouse. I did replace a few of the panes of glass, which worked out well. It's still a bit windy at the moment, so hopefully when it calms down a bit I can then start putting some seeds in. So I'll be starting that next couple of weeks soon. So there we go, that's the top part of the garden. Let's go down and visit these guys. So this is our 5 chickens that we currently have. Those 3 are the youngest from that side, and then these 2 are the oldest girls. So these are still really nervous of these 2 older girls. They still haven't got the confidence. I don't know why. Do excuse the lawn, I did regrow it a couple of months ago, but wind and rain and weather wise it didn't like it. So hopefully next year I can start actually getting the lawn back. And this is going to be sort of an entertaining space. I'm going to sort of fence off this so we'll actually have a nice little bit of lawn, and then I plan on gravelling a lot of this so the dogs got space to go. Garden, there you go. Oh, name wise, that one is, oh, what's her name? I've got to remember. So we got Sims and Ransom. Be nice. Pecking orders. Let's see, she's going to take out these now. So this is Tina, after Tina Turner. Then that one is Olivia Newton-John. And this is Gloria Estefan. So we've got Gloria, Tina and Olivia. Come on, you need to be divas like your namesakes and actually have a go back at these 2. So then over here is the herb garden. Needs a lot of work, weed and wise, and I've also got a lot of junk there that I need to sort out. You know what it's like. So the plan is to expand this as much as possible with lots of different herbs. Some herbs that I can use for medicine as well, and homemade remedies. So the plan is to have as much herbs as possible. A lot of mint. There is some lemon balm and some rosemary. Then also I've got a tiny little bird bath, which I use to feed sort of honeybees during the summer. I always make sure it's got water on with a little bit of gravel, so that if the bees do need a drink. I do also have a little bee feeder here, which I do add sometimes a little bit of sugar water. Just, I know there is new information to say it can be detrimental, but wasps enjoy it come the end of the season. So wasps with once the queen has laid enough eggs at the end of the season, she just flies off. So a lot of the worker wasps get confused. That's why you get a lot of wasps around the end of summer, because they have no home. So if you provide them with a little source of food, they shouldn't bother your barbecues. So that's just for any insects that require an energy boost. Here is my honeysuckle, which I need to really cut back because it's gone really scraggly. So I might cut that back in the next month or two, just really trim it right back down so that it can regrow. This is going to be sort of an ornamental garden, so I do plan on putting a few flower species and shrubs, but hopefully some nice smelling ones as well, because obviously you've got the chicken area behind, so I want to try and cover the smell, if you like. So some nice lavender, possibly some jasmine as well, just to create a nice scented area around the chickens. They do smell. Excuse this, I demolished it last week when I was trying to secure the aviary. I needed a bit of extra mesh and a bit of wood, but my tomatoes done really well here last year, so the plan is to rebuild this a little bit neater, a little bit more secure, and then I will use this as tomato growing space, because like I said, the tomatoes done really well. And then also we have chicken aviary, which is wet and muddy, so we're not going to go there. So there you go, that's pretty much most of the garden. There is a plant, excuse the mess, this gets ignored a little bit, but the plan is to create this as my growing space. I'm going to level it all out, and then grow all my veg in here because it's nice and protected. It does get a lot of sun. I can then manage it. I've got a water butt at the end which I can turn into, and I can also mesh it fairly easily to keep any cabbage moths out, cabbage butterflies and things out, and hopefully be a bit more protected. And also I'll put a gate up as well, so Boston can't go in and water it. There you go. There are 2 dogs as well. Let me see if they'll come out. Boston, meow. There's Maddie, and there's Boston. I've just got that to stop the chickens in, because otherwise they go into the kitchen. There you go, that's Boston. And that's Maddie, and then Squeak lives in the end there. So that's our little lean-to, or barn, as it currently is. So there you go, so a little update on the garden, a little tour, future plans. Right. Let's go say hello to Daddy. Right, that's it. A nice little garden tour and update. That's for any new subscribers that haven't seen the garden properly yet, or any of the animals. Feel free to comment and ask any questions about the animals you want to know and stuff like that. I don't mind telling you a little bit about them. Also, if you want any tips for wildlife gardening and things like that, just drop a little comment in the comments and I'll see what I can do. The only other new update is I got a trail cam for Christmas. So I have got a little bit of footage. I'm just trying to work out how to upload it onto my phone and then able to actually use the videos. So at the moment they go on my phone, but I can't actually do anything with them. So what I have been doing, I've been putting it next to the wildlife pond. So I've got some nice footage of robin, blackbird and sparrows using the wildlife pond to drink and to bathe and things like that. I also got some night footage of the rabbits hopping around in the aviary. So like I said, once I work out how to actually use the videos, I'll start doing possibly on Tuesday or something, post just a few clips from the trail cam, tales of the trail cam I might call it. So it'll just be a few clips of the wildlife visit in the garden. Hopefully we can get something on a night time as well, like Mr. Fox or Mrs. Fox that sometimes visits the garden. Haven't caught any footage of them yet. Like I said, there is a local cat that keeps them popping up on the camera. So right, so yeah, look forward to some trail cam videos. Like I said, once I work out how to do it. You're snuggling in on me. So moving forward in the new year of the channel, it's almost starting to be the time to start getting things growing and starting off. So look for future videos of those to come in now. Like I said, I will try and do a few videos from the trail cam and things like that. So like I said, a good portion of the garden is wildlife garden as well. So each week I'll try and do a little portion on the wildlife garden, and then also a little portion on grown veg and things like that. So yeah, I will start hopefully catching up on people's videos. I still haven't had time, but the new year I'm going to make sure I put one evening aside, so I can catch up on people's videos and the community, respond to comments. I do try and respond as soon as I can. So yes, I'm not ignoring you, I just haven't had time to respond. I know it's only 2 minutes, but it's a busy basically. So like I said, the new year, hopefully I can try and set some time aside and actually start commenting on people's videos and within the gardening community on YouTube and things like that. Yes. Sorry. So yes, hopefully you've enjoyed the little update and the little tour. Like I said, put anything in the comments if you want to know anything more about the animals and stuff like that. Don't forget to like and share if you want. You don't have to, but share them with your friends if you think one video is particularly cute of some of the animals. Like I said, we are also on Instagram and Facebook, so do follow us and like and all that jazz. Right. And we've gone all funny, have we? This is Teddy. So Teddy hasn't been castrated, and normally during the summer months he sees me as his mate. So ferrets are quite aggressive when they mate. The male will grab the scruff of the female and basically take her to the bedroom. So Teddy likes to do that with me, but obviously I'm a little bit bigger, so he likes just to bite hold of my thumb, like so, and then he'll just, it doesn't hurt. Well, sometimes if he catches a sensitive spot and I'm not prepared, then he does hurt a little bit, but generally speaking it's not a nasty bite. It's just, it's supposed to subdue me, but it's still, well, it's actually too early for you to be doing that. But I think with the weather being how it is and still everything being quite mild, I think you're a little bit confused, aren't you? Do you want to give kisses? There we go, we have kisses. Right, before he gets a little bit too fruity, I'm going to go in. Don't escape it. Alright. See you all later. To the bit. Yeah. And I have a new fancy new button now, so all I've got to do is this.